Poor girl with her baby falls asleep on a CEO's shoulder on a flight, but wakes up shocked when the baby wouldn't stop crying. At 30,000 feet in the air, with a plane full of weary travelers and no place to escape, Emily's arms ached as she rocked her 6-month-old daughter, Lily, back and forth. The young mother's eyes were heavy, her spirit even more so. She had scraped together her last few dollars to buy this one-way ticket from Chicago to New York, clinging to the hope of a new beginning after losing her job and apartment in the same week. Wearing a faded hoodie and clutching a diaper bag that had seen better days, Emily tried her best to shrink into her middle seat. The man to her right, dressed in a sharp navy suit and tapping away on a tablet, hadn't said a word. He looked important, too important to be bothered by a tired mother and her fussy baby. But then Lily finally dozed off, and before Emily realized it, so did she. Her head, heavy with exhaustion, slowly leaned onto the suited man's shoulder. He froze for a moment, then, surprisingly, relaxed. Passengers around them noticed, some smiling at the strange yet touching sight, a powerful businessman letting a struggling stranger sleep on him like an old friend. An hour passed before turbulence jolted Emily awake. Embarrassed, she pulled away quickly, whispering, "I'm so sorry." But instead of irritation, the man smiled gently and said, "Don't be. You both looked like you needed the rest more than I needed the space." It wasn't just kindness in his voice, it was sincerity. As they began to descend, the flight attendant handed Emily an envelope. "From the gentleman next to you," she said. Puzzled, Emily opened it. Inside was a handwritten note and a check. Her eyes widened. $10,000. The note read, "Emily, I don't know your story, but I've seen enough to know you're fighting hard. I was raised by a single mom who once cried herself to sleep on a Greyhound bus while I slept in her lap. She never got help. I wish someone had stepped in sooner. Use this to get back on your feet, housing, childcare, whatever you need. And if you're open to it, there's a job waiting for you at my foundation. You already passed the first interview, you showed strength, love, and determination. That's the kind of person we need." James Carter, CEO, New Horizons Initiative. Tears spilled down Emily's cheeks as the wheels touched the tarmac. In a world where she'd grown used to slammed doors and cold shoulders, she'd fallen asleep next to a stranger and woken up to hope. 6 months later, Emily was working full-time, enrolled in evening classes, and living in a modest but warm apartment. Lily was thriving in daycare, and every night before bed, Emily whispered a prayer, not just of thanks, but of a promise. That someday, she'd be the shoulder someone else could lean on. Because kindness, once given, doesn't stop. It ripples, quietly, powerfully, through lives, changing everything.